We needed to solve a problem, which was how do we manage these parts, keep them safe throughout all the manufacturing process. He came up with and 3D printed this entire grid system that we can walk parts through the facility and they can get shipped to the location to get other operations. And then they come back to us with this protective grid system. Again, smart people, you give them the right tools, and they absolutely do magical things.
I tell all my entrepreneurial friends, specifically that have kids or are looking to have kids, is you need a cabin in your life. You need a place to remove yourself from your current life that you can drop into. I don't mean being fake, I mean to allow your nervous system to settle down from all of the stress and anxiety that you've created, that your life has created, that you can move into a completely new world that would be the vacation, if you will, kind of whenever you want. I knew the position we were in, building the business. I knew how hard it was going to be to book vacations out, all of that, right. Especially because both my kids were playing high-level sports. And so for me, it was like, well, why don't we just get a cabin? And that was always my dream anyways. Yeah. And for me, I could just jump in my truck and head east. And in less than 2 hours, I'm at my cabin. Like I could just feel the stress and anxiety just dissipate out of my body the second I crossed over Snoqualmie Pass.
Man, if you're going to start out in this space and you want a really good go of it, buying a standalone machine, to me, is one of the worst decisions you can make. If you don't buy a pallet machine, you are not in the game. I want our suppliers to be the most efficient they possibly can, right? Why? Because when we get really busy, I want to throw them a lot of work. And they're doing a great job. But if they got a bunch of standalone machines, guess what?
They can't do
They're
it.
killing themselves because they have no automation, so they can get a break away from the machine to go set up another machine, operate, to program, to get new customers, take care of us, take better care of us, right? And so I want the industry to learn first principles concepts in manufacturing. So we're approaching and realizing that it may cost a little more upfront. So when you see the downstream benefits, the downstream investment model that you just created, the numbers are so staggering, you can't even get your mind wrapped around.
It's freaking me out, dude. Oh my God, this thing's gonna climb in the car. All right, time to go. Woo! Hey, get back. Freaking tried to bite me. That's enough. Gotta put my window up, man. This thing's scary. Jesus. Oh my God, look at this thing. Look at this thing.
The value of this 3-axis machine running and roughing out the material and getting it prepped properly to use our 5-axis and push much higher value into the 5-axis as opposed to the 3-axis. This is a much lower dollar rate than that machine. So if we can do low dollar work in this machine, which is basically preparing the part, truing up all the sides from the rough material, it actually gives our 5-axis the ability to massively reduce our cutter costs because the material is very consistent when it goes in. Plus, this preparatory op that used to be done in the 5-axis is now done in the lower dollar work. And so it massively increases our productivity. So what's unique about this machine is the 3-axis vertical isn't very unique necessarily, but the size of the tool changer in this type of machine, this is actually the largest tool changers they put in this little machine. Even the manufacturer was like, man, nobody does this stuff. So we're actually like forcing them, if you will, to take a look and change the way that they think about manufacturing parts. Cutting tools is one of the first things you learn in machining is like, what cutters do I use to remove the material, right?
Yeah.
Because usually you're just throwing a part in a vise and you clamping down the vise and that's it, right? But as you get more advanced, the game becomes, how do I work hold? How do I hold the most amount of material? How do I hold that particular part in the most unique way that I can machine as much surface as I possibly can, right?
Without changing it, yeah.
Yeah, because every time I, like in a vertical, if every time I pull it out of a Workholding vise, dovetail system, whatever you're using, and I flip it, every time I handle it in management is a chance for the part to get scrapped.
Right.
Or be out of tolerance.
Or
right?
takes too much time.
That just take too damn much time, right? Okay, now we're automated from work hold to work hold to work hold to work hold, right? I'm flip-flopping this thing. But every time, you go from here to here to here to here, I got to blow it off and clean it. And now I'm clamping on a finished surface.
Yeah.
And if somebody misses a little chip in there and you squash a chip into your beautiful surface, scrap, like in our world, rarely can you recover. There's a significant shift between, I got this side gig in my garage to now I have a, 10 to 20 to 30,000 square foot facility. You got millions of dollars of equipment in there. You got a whole team to operate. You're going to invest every freaking extra dollar that you'll ever make in this thing to pray that it's going to produce some type of return on the other end. But unfortunately, most people don't think about any of this stuff. All they know is head down and grind. And I can tell you that is an absolute recipe for a very, very painful existence. The unbelievable technology and tools and parts and things that we can actually build in many ways comes from very old technology. But then we take the very old technology and we put new systems on it, computer controlled programmable logic units. We took this many, many decades old hydroform machine and now has some of the newest, greatest technology that's behind the scenes controlling all of the systems. Whereas before it was very analog, again, kind of very old school. And today, again, because of the super talents that we have, we're able to look and analyze how we can break this machine down, be more efficient based on the type of work that we do, as opposed to the original configuration that it came into. When you start shifting your mindset from, we call it kind of like the Northwest aerospace world, where everybody has vertical machining centers with big long travel, whereas you go back east, automotive and high production, everybody has horizontals, which means instead of the spindle being vertical, the spindle's horizontal.
Right.
And your part sits in front of it and you machine. And then this thing, because it comes in on a pallet, automatically has a fourth axis. So now I can rotate around. Whereas in here, it's vertical and I can only approach the part like this, basically profiling and stepping down to machine the part. If I'm in a horizontal, I can profile and do all the same thing you can in a vertical, but now I can index and rotate it. So now I can hit the size of the part too.